Okay, there's no escape.
No, John.
Eh?
Oh, that's rice. Oh, I made so much rice. I hope we're gonna be eating rice for 3 weeks.
Come on, Herbert. Schlesinger or whatever you call it.
She's just visiting.
Hiram Reed, whatever. Myers. Hello, Metro Goldwyn.
Yeah, maybe.
Hello. It's all being taken down in evidence.
Yeah.
¿Dónde fue así ahora? El mismo lugar.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I was trying to
keep
get
moving.
away.
It's not a still camera, so it moves, you know.
Oh, all right, I'll move with him.
There you go, let's be sure we get a picture of that so
Yeah,
we can
take the forward so we'll know we were apart.
I want to get that big background over there.
I want my
Go ahead.
Please, will the Sapphire party from Langford Hotel with Air Tours please contact Turner Reservations? The Sapphire party with
electrical, pneumatic, and instrument and ground supply lines to the stages of the Saturn rocket and the Apollo spacecraft. They also provided access for technicians to the interior of the rocket and spacecraft for minor repairs and adjustments. During the last moments of rode in an elevator up the umbilical tower.
When you see the red light.
They walked across the access.
Yeah, I see a red light.
Where
See
they
the red light?
spacecraft.
Yeah, I do see the red light.
For the launch
mean,
of the
it's running
Saturn
in
V rocket, there were 12 spacecraft. For the launch of the Saturn V rocket, there were a total of 9 arms. In addition to providing access,
Really big one, living just the tip of the pressure. Right.
Just in it all.
Oh,
Get a good shot of soup.
very cool. It's more significant if you saw a man standing.
Well, he's got them. He's got some guys standing on it.
On the machine there, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, they can't turn around. They can only go forward or back.
Well, it supposedly can, but it needs an incredibly wide radius in order to be able to do it. So they don't really do that. They reverse it.
They go forward or back.
Right.
And they have a cab. The driver sits in that little glassed-in area.
Okay, we're going to hit a sign to your left in about 5 minutes, so you're going to lose your view.
Yeah.
So this thing weighs 6 million pounds. And when you add the 18 million that the second flying
are simply driving around it and supposedly we're not getting out. So I'm going to drive around it. And I don't know whether that's going to... Why don't I drive around it to your right and that'll give you a better view.
I brought a camera so I can take pictures.
Well, I'll tell you, Sue, they don't have me stopping. I don't know whether there's a reason why I can't. But if you'd like, we can try it if they want us to leave. We'll try these one time.
I was disappointed when they let me drive it. They let me use the water. They didn't trust me. I could drive it every day.
Certainly wouldn't have any problems on the road with people. They probably are doing maintenance work on it, and that's where they sort of keep themselves stationed. They're very protective of this crawler. They don't like anybody going underneath it, and they're just very, very protective of it. And you can see the holes that they had to make through the structure in order to accommodate the exhaust from the boosters and the three main engines firing on the orbiter.
Stand still and look up. And that is the low end of the building. That's the low building. I had to buy, even with tungsten film, I had to
That you'll see. This is another area where they bring them in. This is sort of like a catch-all area. We do a lot of different things over here. And I was telling John, I don't know if you heard, this is a canister transporter. We can transport payloads inside.
While you're at it, check with them on the forklift also.
You have to have a special badge to go up beyond a certain level. Imagine having as your job, coming into work every day, and having to get into the cab of one of those cranes up at that upper level.
There are no elevators, huh?
Yeah, there are elevators. There are elevators.
I thought they had
It would be very healthy
There
people
are
working here.
offices. There are offices in this building.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Although they don't actually really use them. They use them to come and fly. I've never seen him do it, but it was like, I mean, it's incredibly slow.
Can we go up there? There's two legs up there. The other one this side.
I mean, it takes hours.
What's that?
I thought that was coming in here. It's not. Look at that white thing.
He's got to pull that other thing all the way up.
Allegedly, and I have to say allegedly, I haven't seen it done, this can set down a load so gently that
Right,
it
we were
wouldn't
talking
crush
about
an
that.
egg.
That's,
Oh, you
we
did?
were talking about that.
I'm sorry.
It's another alleged.
I didn't hear you
That's
say
okay.
it.
It's another one of those stories. Oh, I'll tell you, it looks like it's
Allegedly,
getting off.
this crane.
That's an office building.
And which rocket is this one?
That is a Saturn V with the Apollo spacecraft at the very end of it on the left.
Alright.
And that was a flight-ready Saturn V that could have gone to the moon. But they cut funding for the program in the early 1970s and they never used it. There are two of them. You can see the tip of the orange tank in the very center of the structure, about 3/4 of the way up.
And the transporter roadway here?
Yes, that's what we'll be taking it out to. Gives you some idea, certainly, of the scale of
What you see on TV all when you see the not only the launch director, but Kennedy Space Center director.
You can see over there on the wall the plaques from launches that have been conducted from within this room. You can look down and see those are consoles. Each of those sets of consoles controls a different system. Environmental control and life support systems, liquid hydrogen, those are parts of the propellants, orbiter instrumentation. Each set of consoles is used to operate a different part of the space shuttle assembly. And you can also operate the ground support equipment as well. So the people who are overseeing those systems will be seated at those consoles. These rows up here that face back onto them are the managers who are actually overseeing the countdown itself or the processing. Everything that happens to a space shuttle is controlled from within this room. These people are here because it's all the checkout of a space shuttle is controlled automatically. So even now, that space shuttle that's out of the pad, they can check out and hear what's happening to that vehicle. It's all automatically handled. It's called a launch processing system. From the time it's inside that orbiter processing facility, through the time it's inside the vehicle assembly building, through the time it gets out to the pad to the point where it actually lifts off, they can monitor the status of various systems to make sure that they're performing as they're supposed to do. So that's what those guys are doing. Yeah. Around the clock thing. The people who work on the space shuttles with the white needle on top of it, and that's called the fixed service structure. And the structure to the left of it is the rotating service structure, and that's what comes around and completely encloses the space shuttle orbiter. It makes it very hard for us to ever see it when it sits out of the pad.
You're talking, John?
What?
You're talking to you recording yourself?
Sometimes.
The side recording thing is a flame trench.
Yeah, we're going to go around and you will see that on the north side. The other thing that's worth mentioning, there are a couple of things actually, that fixed service structure is about 342 feet high. The white needle on the top of it is a lightning mast, and you can see the ground wires extending from side to side. If you look about 3/4 of the way up on that fixed service structure and a little bit over to the middle of it, you can see there's like a little white box at the end of an arm. That's the orbiter access arm, and that white box is the white room. And when a space shuttle crew comes out here for a launch, they go up to that level. It's about 195 feet up, and they get into the orbiter cockpit through that white room. That deflects the flame from now. The boosters will, their flame will be deflected toward us, and then the flame from the 3 main engines would be deflected on the other side, and you'll get an idea of that as we go up on the pad. Gets in there. So the crew would come out of the orbiter, get in the baskets, release a latch, and slide down the slide wire. There's a safety net down there, and then there's a bunker that they could get into. There's also an M113 that they could drive away. I work for other publications, for the same publishing company that did it, but they did something called World. This is going to be fun. Hold on. Now.
You can't see the orbiter, but you can see the
See over there.
Yeah.
where was he when they took us up
Right.
on the pad? There was nothing from nothing.
Oh, he was the guy. I heard he was only interested in being where there were good photos to be taken.
Well, that means the only thing that's there. know how big you saw
So the shuttle is wrapped inside that casing in there.
The orbiter is. Yeah, the spaceplane part of it that we're all so familiar with.
Yeah.
But it's attached to that orange tank.
You saw how big it really is when you saw the top two segments of the booster in the vehicle assembly building.
That whole fully assembled space shuttle was about 180 feet high. Now, a Saturn rocket was twice as big. It was over 300 feet. It was much larger than a space shuttle. It's a much smaller space vehicle.
When NASA killed the entrance for me. After walking out with the Saturn V and the facility model, 10 hours walking beside it, I had good clever control, but there's a limit.
That's right.